Hi everyone, I'm Irina Baker, life-changing wizard, and today I welcome you to my video series focused on awareness and prosperity. And today we're going to talk about the prayer, and not from the regular perspective how people think in terms of a prayer, but perhaps a little bit more in a manifesting way, or the importance of a prayer for, first of all, for everybody on earth, every human, and the second, and actually even for atheists. And the second one is a prayer in terms of being a co-creator in your creating of your reality or manifesting your own reality. So my questions to you are, do you pray? Do you think that everyone has to pray? And if you consider yourself religious, obviously I would assume that you usually pray because that's the most important part of any religion. However, what if you are an atheist? Obviously, do you pray or you don't pray? That's a silly question you would say if you're watching it and you're an atheist, you would say, no, I don't pray. Well, we will talk about it a little bit later, and perhaps you might reconsider. And what exactly is the benefit or importance of the prayer? And finally, what is the definition of prayer? What is your own definition of a prayer? So perhaps while I'm asking these questions, you already have some kind of opinion of what I'm going to talk about, or perhaps not. So I would love you to stay and listen. And there will be two hangouts, this one and the next one, where I discuss types of prayers. So I'm sharing my own definitions, my own feelings, and my own, not feelings, but my own knowledge about the prayer, how I came, and let me talk about from my upbringing and how I came to the importance of the prayer. And I used to be an atheist. I was born in Russia, and in Russia, the religious practice was prohibited. So we were atheists, so to speak, by blood or by upbringing, because it was just non-existent. We could not go to church, we could not engage in spiritual practices because there were ramifications for people like that. So we, at that time, and I'm talking about many, many years ago, so now it's very different, and I'm not mentioning anything right now. I don't really know how the life is now, but when I was there, when I was growing up, the religion was prohibited. The religious practice was prohibited, and there was a famous saying by one of the leaders of Russian Revolution in 1917 by Lenin, and he used to say, religion is the opium for people. And so that's what we believed. I didn't know if God existed or not. It just, God simply didn't exist in my reality, in my mind. And obviously I did not pray because God doesn't exist. Why would I care about the prayer? However, at the same time, as we know that God is everywhere, and whatever you call your trusted power, your highest source, I don't want to offend anybody, and at the same time, I'm honestly sick and tired of people. We constantly are afraid to offend anybody. Whatever your definition of your trusted power, you can use it, and I will use my definition. And so at that time, so I did not believe in God, I did not pray, but I also knew and I saw the old books with Russian, Russian, of course, in Russian language, and they were prayers, and they were in some old language, and just all these words, all these formal prayers, I just didn't care about. And now, when I was preparing for this topic, I looked up the definition of a prayer in a Webster dictionary, and I really would like to read it to you because later on I will show you my own definition and see where you would agree with me and what would be your definition of prayer. And believe me, there is always a point. When I talk about something, there is also always a point, and the point is to give you a specific tool or remind to you about using a very powerful tool to create your reality, to manifest dreams you want to manifest and improve your life. And so that's why stay with me and we will continue talking about the prayer. And so the definition of the prayer from the Webster Dictionary: silent or spoken petition made to God or a God. A God would be with the lower G, as not the omnipotent presence, but a God, smaller entity. A prayer has been practiced in all religions throughout history. Its characteristic postures, bowing the head, kneeling, prostration, and position of the hands raised, outstretched, clasped, signify an attitude of submission and devotion. Prayer may involve confessions of sin, requests, thanks, praise, offerings of sacrifice, or promises of future acts of devotion. In addition to spontaneous private prayer, most religions have fixed formulas of prayer. For example, the Lord's Prayer, often recited in group worship. And as I mentioned, my non-religious upbringing, that form of a formal prayer, didn't really excite me at that time that much. And at first I didn't even think about what was wrong about it in my belief, but the words, when I looked at the definition, the submission and devotion, at that time it just didn't resonate with me. I was not submitting to anybody, I was not devoting to anybody, so I was completely non-religious. And so I also love the word why, and I always know if I engage in any practice, I have to ask myself why. I have to find out all the information so I can engage in this practice with the full awareness. And so I started asking why, because many years ago when I had my spiritual awakening, I happily found God. And I never became a religious person, but I definitely consider myself a spiritual person, and life has it, or destiny has it, I now teach spiritual transformation, mindset makeover, total mindset makeover, spiritual transformation. And so I started looking deeper into the practice of prayers, trying to figure out what it is all about and how I can use it in my daily life. And I found or discovered an amazing power of a prayer, and that's what I would like to address here today. I define a prayer in my own way for myself. And of course, I do not want to impose it on anybody. Just listen to it and see if you like it or if there is something in it to you, so you can accept prayer if you haven't accepted prayer before. Or maybe you'll get more insight so you can really have the word why and answer the word why you are engaging in the process of prayer. Not just accept it just because everybody does it, but why are you doing it? What is it? Why do you even have to do it, or why do you want to do it? So I believe that a prayer is a laser-focused, positive address to your higher self, your trusted source, acknowledgement of the existence of the higher power and the belief that this higher power can help. Prayer can be formal or informal, and there are different types of prayer. And later on in the second hangout devoted to the prayer, we will discuss the different types of prayer, and that's what's so fascinating to me. A prayer is, like I already said, the prayer is very vital to the process of co-creating with your trusted source, with God, and the manifestation process. When you want your dreams to be achieved, your goals to be achieved, you need to add this powerful tool, a prayer, but it doesn't have to be a formal religious prayer. So let's define these three words: laser-focused, positive, and address. So the first one is laser-focused. What is it? Well, everything is energy, as I always say, on every corner. And so energy is in the prayer as well. So when you pray, you emit or create the flow of energy. And this flow of energy is laser focused, because if you are unfocused, then you're thinking here, there, energy is flowing everywhere and no specific result happens. So when you want to achieve something, you start focusing on it. Let's say you have a problem, or you have a dream, or you have a specific request, then you are totally focused at that moment on this problem or request or dream, whatever it is. And so laser focus is an amazing part of the power of this tool. Laser focus stream of positive energy. So the second word is positive. And positive means, do you know any people who would curse somebody and pray at the same time, or pray in a cursing way? I don't think so, because curse would use other words or whatever they do, but usually people who engage in the process of a prayer, they will use positive wordings. They will use positive, they're focused on the solution or the problem, and then finding the solution. So they will intuitively find the positive words, and I'm sure that's the same in your life. And the last part, the last very important part is address. What is it? Address to the higher power. So whatever it is your trusted source is, your high power, light, universe, God, Allah, Buddha, you name it, it doesn't matter, because it's whatever your belief is, whatever your cultural upbringing is. But you are addressing in your prayer, you are going to your higher power. And so you directing this stream of positive laser focused energy towards your, I call it upstairs team. Of course, it's not upstairs, there is no second story, so to speak, but there are other dimensions, there is a life, there are other dimensions, as I'm sure you know, and so I call it, just for the sake of that, upstairs team. And when you address to upstairs team, not only your trusted source, God listens, meaning spirit, the one that everything was originated from, but also people, we have tremendous support in the form of a spirit guide, your spirit guide, angels, archangels, your soul group mates, your higher self, master teachers, other beings from other soul groups that come and to greet you or to watch you or to cheer you up, and so forth. So perhaps you don't see them, you don't know that they're present, but they are. And so when you pray, you will automatically summon those beings or those helpers who are here, will help you through directing God's will, so to speak, the trusted sources will towards you. They're helping you to solve your situation, achieve your dreams, and so forth. And another part is, when we pray, we are invoking the divine will. And that's important, because a lot of times we forget. You know how many people, especially, here's an example. Usually it's said that men don't like asking directions. So when they drive, now thank God we have GPS, everybody has GPS, but before we didn't have those devices, and usually it is easier for a woman to go out and ask for directions, but men rather will get lost, but they will not ask for directions. At least that's what I know. And now they consult, now they're okay asking GPS, I hope. So anyway, we have a free will, and this free will, some people are not aware of it, or they don't understand, or they just don't simply remember. And what that means is, you don't have to ask for directions, you don't have to ask for guidance, and you absolutely don't have to ask for help in solving your problems or achieving your dreams, because trusted source knows you're fully capable of doing everything you want to do. It's harder, much harder, because if you do it from your ego's position, much harder, because ego is all about fear and struggles and dark struggle life. So, but you still can do it. You can go through life without asking for help. And then this help will not be given to you because that's what your free will is saying. You're not asking for help. In other words, ask and you shall receive. You have to remember that. And yes, there are exceptions to the rule, because if you're not ready to check out from this earthly life yet, your time is still here, you're going through your contracts knowingly or unknowingly, then even if you don't ask for help and you are in a physical danger, then the divine guidance will use divine intervention to help you go through that particular physical experience or physical danger so you can be safe and continue living on earth. But that's an exception, and if you don't ask, you don't get it. And so ask and you shall receive. So by invoking or by praying, you are invoking free will, you are invoking the divine will versus your free will. And that means you're asking for help. You're asking for divine guidance, your help, your divine help, and it will definitely be provided. That's why tremendous amount of studies have been conducted. Statistics show that the importance of the prayer is so high in the medical field, in any area of our life. Any area of our life can be improved. And even if you're an atheist, I strongly encourage you to consider praying, but maybe not in the form of formal religious prayer, but as a tool to create your reality. And that's what I'm going to focus on in the next Google Hangout. So please just stay tuned, because I'm going to discuss specific, not formal. I will talk about formal as well, but mostly not formal, specific modern types of prayer that everyone, and I firmly believe now, because I've been on both sides, I firmly believe that every single person will greatly benefit from. And now, one more thing. If you would like some help in manifesting your dreams more than you're receiving here in my weekly Google Hangouts, go to my website, dreammanifestingformula.com, and claim video training, Dream Manifesting Formula, the step-by-step guide to achieving your dreams, big and small. Stay tuned to the next Google Hangout, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.